So I recently got this new tool set. It is an Italian-made USAG. The model number is 606 1/4 SK. And it is a 1/4-inch bit driver, or bit ratchet, rather than a standard 1/4-inch drive ratchet. It does come with a 1/4-inch drive adapter, so you can drive regular sockets. But its main purpose is to drive bits directly so that you have a much shorter ratchet system than using a standard 1/4-inch drive ratchet with a hex bit on it. So this tool set comes with an assortment of metric Allen bits, 2 slotted, 3 Phillips, 3 posi drive, as well as an assortment of the tamper-resistant Torx bits. It also comes with a 100mm extension, which just fits into the ratchet like this, and then you can drive bits, at a longer distance, typical stuff. Additionally, though, it has a magnetic spot for bits in the handle. And then if you line up these dotted lines to the white dot here, this becomes a T-handle. And this is really what makes this tool great. It isn't just the fact that you have low profile bit ratchet, those are fairly common, but having this setup is not so common. There are a couple companies that make a tool nearly identical to this. This, being USAG, is the sub-brand to FACOM, and FACOM makes, I think they made the original version of this, but I really am not positive on that, so don't quote me. However, I think more famously these days you've seen the Icon brand of Harbor Freight make a version of this, and I originally saw this design or this style of tool on this video, which briefly went over the Icon version of this tool. Originally I was going to try and find one, but they're out of stock everywhere near me. And then I decided, you know what, I think I'd prefer to buy the original or the proper tool for this and not buy the other import version of this tool. Although this is imported from Europe. So there are 3 tools that this tool replaces effectively, and that would be a standard T-handle, a standard 1/4-inch drive small ratchet, and I would argue that it replaces one of these, and I'll get to that in just a minute. So let's see how a standard T-handle and the USAG T-handle compare. Again, take the white dot on the ratchet and match that up with the cutout and dotted lines here. And let's just put a bit in here for the sake of the demonstration. And you can see that the USAG T-handle is significantly shorter than the Motion Pro T-handle. Again, this is the Motion Pro T-handle. It's pretty common among, motorcyclists and, any outdoorsy sort of person. But the handle on the USAG is a little bit longer. I don't know if that's enough to make a difference. It may or may not. I think it's pretty much just a wash there. So that is one, I'd say, definite downside to this, is that it is just not as long of a T-handle as the Motion Pro. But next, let's see how it fares as a 1/4-inch drive ratchet. So this is the smallest 1/4-inch drive ratchet that I was able to find as of a couple years ago for, a fairly low price. You might be able to find a smaller one somewhere else, but this is still smaller than the USAG. It's a little bit shorter, and it's actually a little bit smaller in the head as well by just a few millimeters. And that also translates to how short it would be with a socket on it. Now right here, I will show you the only real design flaw of the USAG ratchet, and that is that the bit adapter comes out with the bit and not the ratchet. And now this is pretty much impossible to get off, especially if you have dirty or greasy hands. You're just not going to get that out of there without a pliers. The real only way around that with the tools is just to push it out with one of the bits, and that is really not elegant. I don't really know of a way to fix that unless you had some sort of a ball detent in the ratchet, sort of like what this ratchet has. It has the ball detent in there. I don't know how you would implement that in a tool like this, or if it's even implementable, but it is something to be aware of, that using sockets with this tool will just pull it straight out of the head. Because this tool here, it's going to be difficult to see, and I'll show a close-up of this. There's a little spring here, and there's a spring here, and that indexes on these grooves. And I've tried out a couple different bits that I have, and some of them have these grooves and some don't. You don't need them for it to fit in to this tool, but it does help it retain it. And there is also a little tab right here. It's very, very small, and that's what prevents you from being able to push one of these sockets through. If you put extreme force, you could probably force it and break it, but under reasonable force, you're never going to push it through there. So finally, I would like to just say where I got this tool, how much I paid, and where you could get it too if you want it. I got it from a company called Ultimate Garage, run by a guy named Steve. And this is the actual price I paid, shipping and tax included. And I was quite happy with the service of Ultimate Garage. I'm not sponsored by them, I'm not endorsing them, but as a first-time customer, I had a pretty good experience. I was also sent for free, and I didn't even know I was getting this, a free catalog for USAG, which has a lot of, what comes across as very nice tools, lots of different sets. It's very much focused on automotive, I think, and they have a lot of built-in sets, and everything in here seems pretty cleverly designed, just like this toolkit here. So I haven't gotten any real use out of this yet, so I can't make a recommendation on it, but I'm happy so far. It seems like it's going to be a very high quality tool for me. And if you think this would be handy for you, I would just say get it, because if you think you need it, you probably need it. Oh, and before I forget, this, I do believe it replaces this tool, because a handy trick is to use some blue tack or bubble gum or tape to retain a bit in a 1/4-inch ratcheting box end. And this is still better for, the ultimate level of accessibility, because this is only going to be as long as your bit is, where this still has a few extra millimeters on it. However, this is not really an ideal tool, because it just isn't designed to do anything, and the bits will always fall through unless you find some way to retain them. So this is a half measure. This is the full measure. This is cheaper and easier, but I think this is the right way to do it, and this is the way that I'm going to do it going forward. So with that, until next time, see ya.